Well, good afternoon, almost a good evening, everyone. It is Saturday. It's about 3:30 p.m. and I've just got back on trail. Last time you saw me, it was day 87. This is day 91. I've been in Tahoe for quite a while, and there's been quite a bit happening. So I'm just going to bring you up to date with everything. So first things first, I am on my own now. Amelia has left the trail for a while. I just waved her off on a bus to Sacramento. We had breakfast this morning, then went to the library again, and then scooted down to the Amtrak bus stop. So I tried to hitch out of Tahoe, but it didn't go very well. So in the end, I just called myself a lift. I just wanted to get out of town, basically. So yeah, it's going to be very, very different being on my own. Kind of hiked with Amelia for, I don't even know how long now. 700 or 800 miles, something like that, probably. It's been quite a while. We've been hiking together most of the time. You get used to somebody's company, you enjoy it, and then all of a sudden they're gone. So I hope she has a good rest. I hope her shoulder heals up, and hopefully I'll see her somewhere in either Northern Oregon or Washington a little later on in the trail. I know she's looking forward to going home and seeing a dog, Marble, so I'm sure that'll cheer her up no end. But yeah, that was that. One of the reasons for me going into Tahoe, you may remember, was the broken tooth. If you've seen my Instagram posts, you'll know that I went to the dentist. I was quoted almost $4,000 for a root canal and a crown. Obviously, I didn't take that choice. I went with, it was like a bit of drilling involved, which was, I've got to admit, that was extremely painful, even with that anaesthetic. Bit of drilling, they put some medicine into the cavity and put a temporary filling in. So I'm hoping that's going to hold until I get home. It does feel a lot better, got to admit. So that was that. What else has been going on? The electronic situation. Even after spending 3 sessions at the library, so basically a day and a half I've spent at the library there, just sat in front of a screen waiting for files to transfer. I've still not got everything transferred, so I'm not sure what to do about that, but I'm still carrying my hard disk drive around, which I really don't want to be. So I need to figure that out. But as we speak, there are about 6 videos lined up, scheduled to be uploaded to YouTube. So you'll have watched them probably by now when this one comes out. But yeah, hopefully I can get myself into a bit more of a rhythm. What else? What else has been happening? Shoes. A few people might remember I was complaining about the Mountain Racer 4s that I was using. Well, they were a little over 500 miles old. They were really starting to cause me pain when I got into Tahoe. I couldn't find a pair of Mountain Racer 3s, so I decided to choose the, it's a brand new model. It is a Topo Vista. I think I mentioned in a previous video, they are brand new. It's not like an updated model, it's a brand new model that's come out. It's kind of, I would liken it to the Alta Olympus. So like a max cushion shoe. It's got a very aggressive outsole, just like the mountain racers. But the stack height's higher and the cushioning's more. And I can already feel a difference with them. I've literally only walked around town a little bit in them, but I was able to try these on at the store, which really helped. So I got a wide version of them, which actually feels, I could feel the difference between the wide and the normal version. The toe box on these does seem narrower than the mountain racers, but certainly not restrictive in any way. So yeah, that's the shoes fixed. What else has been going on? There's been a lot of people that we've kind of bumped into on the trail over the last few months that we've seen in Tahoe, and a lot of them have been getting off for different reasons, finishing completely, not just taking a break. Injuries, burnt out, mentally burnt out, physically burnt out, new jobs, all sorts of different reasons. But it feels like Tahoe has been a bit of a flux point for a lot of people. I've got to admit, I was very tempted to get on the bus with Amelia, but I know I would have regretted that. Not regretted going with Amelia, but just regretted leaving the trail. I know Amelia was upset about it as well. She kind of resigned herself to the fact she was leaving, but still, it's not nice when you actually get on that bus and you're leaving the trail. I think the only other major thing, I've basically been through my pack and got rid of quite a bit of stuff that I was carrying. My micro spikes have gone. My alpha sleeping leggings have gone. My gloves have gone. Sunscreen's gone. I know I'm going to get shouted at for that, but I was just sick of carrying it and not using it. Got rid of my earphones. Got rid of one of my power banks. And a couple of other bits, I can't remember what, but there was a ground sheet that I'd been using or not using, just carrying with me. So yeah, the pack's feeling pretty good. And I've treated my gaiters, my sun hoodie and my hiking shorts with permethrin, the spray-on variant. Gave them a good spraying and let them dry outside the hotel room on the balcony. So we'll see what kind of a difference that makes. And I'm sure there's something else, but I can't remember it quite at the moment. I've sent myself a box of food to Sierra City, which is, very roughly speaking, 100 miles ahead of me. Between here and there is Truckee, another town that's a decent size. That's about 60 miles in front of me. Once again, the PCT doesn't go through it. You have to get off and hitch in and hitch out. Haven't decided what I'm going to do about it yet. I know they've got a very nice library there, so I may be tempted to go in and sort this hard drive out once and for all. If I can get all of my photos off the hard drive, all the video files and everything like that, off my phone, and put them on the hard drive, I know I'll definitely have enough space for everything that's left on the trail. If not, that'll happen in either Sierra City or the next stop I'm planning after that is going to be Chester, which I think is another quite decent sized town or city. Probably town. Just below me down there is Echo Lake, where, well, I think anyway, I think I'm on the right trail. I better just double check. But it's really hot. It was raining a little bit as I got my ride out here with a lift. And a little bit of thunder rumbling when I stepped foot on the trail, but it kind of seems to have abated for now. Anyway, sorry, that's a load of information for you. Hopefully, I think that's brought you about up to date. It's about 10 minutes of me rambling. Really sorry, but I wanted to try and get you caught up with everything that's been going on. I think that should be it. Back to business, folks. Time to try and speed up a bit, get some miles put in, and try and get caught up with my required average. Well, this is Echo Lake. I've only come a mile and a quarter from the road where I got dropped off. But when you get to somewhere like this, and you're just getting back on trail, and there is a store there that sells ice cream, root beer and bananas, you don't pass it up. Or at least I don't anyway. So I've just stopped here. It's not like I'm going to get very far today anyway. So I've just stopped here for a bite to eat and a drink. I think there's going to be some thunder and rain at some point shortly, which means I need to cover a couple of things on the backpack. But the other thing I forgot to mention was one of the things that happened on the last section was my camera fell over, my video camera, and scratched the lens. I did notice when I was editing the video that there was a mark, or like an imperfection in the centre of the screen where the lens had done that. So, hello Pooch. So I've had to change filters on the camera, which I'm hoping won't affect the quality. I think I've managed to compensate for it with the ISO settings, so fingers crossed that should be alright. So this is the trail along the edge of the lake that we follow. It's really nice actually. It's also extremely popular. And with it being a Saturday afternoon, it's pretty busy. The cool thing about this is you've got these little cabins nestled. You might be able to see one just down to the left of me down here. Just every now and then, there's these little cabins nestled on the shoreline. And the only way you can get to them is either hiking like I am, or by boat. There's obviously no vehicular access. Which I think is really cool. It's so warm. Even like it's 4:30 now. It's just so warm. Yeah, look at these cabins. To be able to just come down here and just kind of chill for a week with that, waking up to that view on a morning out of your bed, you know, or even sleeping on the deck or something like that. It's pretty awesome. Shoes are taking a little getting used to. I'm used to a lot more ground feel with the Mountain Racer 3s and 4s. There's not as much cushioning, so you can feel a lot more of the ground through the entire sole of the shoe, basically. These ones have got a lot more cushioning in, so you don't quite feel as much. So far though, they seem to be pretty comfy. No complaints there. The grip is the same as the Mountain Racers. Vibram Mega Grip. So yeah, maybe another 50 miles or so we'll have a little discussion about them and see if there's anything that's cropped up that I really don't like, any major problems. But for now, I seem to be doing okay. Just got to carry on plodding along with them. It's about 5:30 p.m. Just climbing a little, very rocky section. Just walked for like 10 or 15 minutes with a German PCTer. Funnily enough, he saw me in the post office in Tahoe yesterday, and he was like, I recognise you from somewhere, but I can't place it. Have we met on trail? I was like, no, I don't think so. Anyway, he's just figured it out. He watched one of my videos before he came out over here, and he's realised that's where he recognises me from. Wow, look at that view. Not bad. Very out of breath, very out of shape. It's amazing what even one day off in town can do to you. Never mind 2, 3 or 4. I was saying about a pain kind of in my right hip. I think it's more like it's in the side of, probably the side of my right buttock. I don't really know. I think someone said it might be my IT band, but yeah, it's just a little painful. It's a little twinge there, but nothing bad at the moment. So I'm headed into an area called the Desolation Wilderness. I think is a really cool name. A few people have said the first section of it is really, really pretty. This is one of the areas where you do still need to carry a bear can. I was tempted to get rid of mine, but I knew this section was coming up, and then there's Lassen Volcanic National Park where you need one. I think there may possibly be 1 or 2 other areas as well. For the moment, I'm just happy to carry it for the peace of mind. All the day hikers seem to have thinned out completely. I'm a few miles, I don't know exactly how far, but a good few miles away from Echo Chalet now. I've only seen the one of the PCT here as well, the German chap. Headed towards Lake Aloha, which sounds pretty nice. I've seen a few pictures of it that people have taken and put on Instagram. It does look really, really nice as well. Just had a message from Amelia to say that she's made it to a hotel in Sacramento safely. So that was good to hear. Whew, really feeling it. It's a good job I don't have to go very far today. Get a nice maybe 5 or 6 miles done, and then find somewhere to pitch the tent. A nice little warm up for the next couple of days. Still not decided what I'll do about Truckee. I think considering time and money, they're both factors now. I think I'll probably end up pushing on to Sierra City. I'll see what sort of a mood I'm in when I get nearer there. Speaking of money, a couple of shout outs for Paul V. A super thanks on YouTube. Very nice of you, Paul, thank you, and thank you for your comment as well. Much appreciated. And Dan C on Buy Me a Coffee. Thank you very much, Dan, really good of you. I don't know if you prefer Dan or Daniel, sorry. But yeah, thanks again, and thank you for your comment as well. Made me chuckle. It's really, really nice walking through this forest at the moment. It's been so hot and it's just nice and shaded through here. And the sun, as you've probably seen on the screen, just keeps flashing through the trees. I love it when it does that. It's a really, really nice effect. Up until now, I've not seen or heard any mosquitoes, but just when I stopped back there, just to change the ISO setting on the camera, I heard the classic and saw one landed on my hand. However, I haven't noticed any landing on my clothing, which would suggest the permethrin that I treated it with is maybe starting to do its job. I've still got some spray for my skin as well in my side pocket. I was going to buy some, I think is it Picardin? Excuse me, from the gear shop. But I realised that I'd still got like almost a full tin of this off stuff to use up. So get through that first, and then I'll buy some of the Picardin. All I can think of when I say that is Captain Picard from Star Trek. Oh, those were the days. So I've just reached Lake Aloha, and there are tents everywhere. And I think you can probably see why when I pan you around as well. It's a beautiful location. With it being a Saturday, with it being kind of pretty easy accessible from Lake Tahoe. Beautiful hike out here actually. You can see just why there's a lot of tents out here. It's stunning, really is stunning. I think I'll walk around it for a little bit more yet. To be honest, it would be nice to stay here somewhere, but I do have a good at least hour of walking time left this evening. Saying that, if I see a nice campsite, probably end up taking it, to be honest with you. 1 or 2 miles extra this evening isn't really going to make a great difference in the grand scheme of things. So yeah, if I spot somewhere that looks super nice, probably going to be me. Look at it, it's just gorgeous. It's absolutely gorgeous. I think another reason why my legs are so tired after doing so little mileage wise today, usually even in towns you're kind of walking around a bit. Lake Tahoe had the bird scooters, the electric scooters and the Lime electric scooters, and basically I've just been scooting everywhere because it is such a long spread out town. So I've not even been walking. Well, this place is just gorgeous. Really, really rocky. There's probably tons and tons of little islands out there. Loads of them. There's a guy stood out on one now. That's quite cool. That's something I'd like to do. A couple of fishermen. Just bumped into somebody else that recognised me. A guy called John. Said he'd been up, I think he said he'd been up Mount Price, which is somewhere over here. So looked like he'd had a good day. Nice to meet you, John. Thanks for the photograph. Hope you enjoy the rest of your hike. It's still a really strange feeling, strange things to get used to, kind of meeting people out on the trail who you've got no idea who they are, but you know, they recognise you. It's quite funny. Not used to it. Got a little ways to go, and then there's a junction at the end of the lake called Mosquito Pass, where I think you climb up and out a little bit. Whether that's a sign of things to come, mosquito, I don't know, but I do feel pretty confident about the permethrin treatment on the clothes. Gave it a real good soaking with the spray gun. It was nice to do that and not have to wash it in, actually. See how well it works. But just spoke to what I assume was a father and daughter as well. They said they were camped somewhere just a little ways up here. Said there were some real nice spots. So maybe I'll just keep my eyes open. I think it'd be a bit criminal to bypass somewhere as beautiful as this. Just for the sake of a couple of extra miles. Maybe have a look from the top of this rock and see if I can see anything. Oh. I bet you there's a ton of spots hidden down there in those rocks and things like that. A ton of flat spots. I can see one tent down by the water's edge down there. I wonder if that's a spot down there. Kind of place where you could probably camp right next to somebody and not even realise it, because there's a ton of rocks in the way. But beautiful place. So I'm going to move on. I'm not going to stay at Lake Aloha. Basically, I started running out of places to look for tent sites, and to be completely honest with you, there was quite a few big groups of people making quite a lot of noise, and that's not what I'm looking for. So I've decided to move on, keep hiking for a few more miles. At the moment I'm heading towards, I think it's called Susie Lake, and then there's another one as well. There's a couple of small lakes around here, so might find somewhere. First things first though, there's a little waterfall down here that I need to stop and fill up my bottles at, because I'm almost out. Just trying not to fall over at the moment. This is Heather Lake. It's only a small one. So I've got quite a few mosquitoes around my head at the moment because I've got my hood down. But yeah, it's quite pretty. Just passed at one little tent site in the trees just before you hit the lake, and there was someone there. So that ruled that one out. And then the next lake after this, I believe, is Susie Lake. And I think there's a few... get off me. I think there's a few tent sites there. So we shall have a look there, see what the situation's like. This trail's been quite difficult to walk on. Again, it's very, very rocky and very loose. You kind of got to pick where you're putting your feet. One of those times when you're always looking at the trail rather than looking at the scenery. enjoyed this little reintroduction back to the trail today though. I did check the app just a little while since, and it said that Echo Chalet was 7.5 miles behind. So you add on to that the 1.25 from the road. What's that? 7.5, 8 and 3/4. So I would imagine by the time I stop tonight, I'll have done somewhere around 10 miles, which is actually pretty good. I was hoping for something like that. Didn't think I would get to it, so yeah, quite pleased with that. Well, this is Susie Lake. Another very pretty lake. There's not been a great deal of camp spots there. There was one just over on this little peninsula over here. That was taken by at least 2 tents. And then I think there's like a peninsula that comes out here. I can see some tents on that as well. So not having much luck. I think it's just because it's the weekend, and we've got a ton of like day hikers and weekend backpackers out as well as PCTers. I would imagine the lion's share of these people are not PCTers, to be honest with you. I think I'm probably towards the back of the line in the PCT world at the moment. Well guys, it is 9 PM and I am just short of Dick's Pass. The lake you see down there is Dick's Lake. This is the view from almost at the top. I've got to obviously look for somewhere to put the tent, and I'll probably have to break the head torch out soon as well. I didn't expect to be walking this long tonight, to be honest with you. My legs don't feel too bad, I don't feel too bad, but I feel really sick. My stomach doesn't feel good at all. So I think I'm just gonna, apparently in about a third of a mile there's quite a few tent sites. So I'm gonna try and find something, just pretty much go straight to sleep. I don't even feel hungry. I'll have a bit of water, but yeah, just feel a bit off. But it's a beautiful, beautiful view, isn't it? Not bad at all. Good evening, everybody. It is 9:30 PM, or a few minutes after, and I am camped at mile 1106.8. Pretty much on the top of Dick's Pass, I believe. There's a nice kind of open area. The silly thing is that I've got my tent set up and everything, you know, done, and I'm in my sleeping bag. And as soon as I laid down, I realised that I'm on a slope. It's not like really bad, but I'm on a slope, and I've just realised there is like a perfect tent pad right behind me, but it's stuck in the middle of a load of trees and there's no view whatsoever, whereas where I am at the moment, this side here, there is a stunning view. It's kind of looking down to what I showed you just a few minutes ago at Dick's Pass. Unfortunately, all the light's gone out of the sky now. There was some kind of red and orange there from the sunset, but it's all gone. My legs are aching a bit. I still feel a bit sick. Going to have some water, and with it being like 9:30, probably going to get off to sleep shortly. Really, really happy. I've done just a little short of 15 miles, and that's getting back on trail at, what would it have been, like 3:30 PM, probably. Amelia's bus left at 3. I tried to get a ride for like 10 or 15 minutes. Probably somewhere between 3:30 and 4 PM, and then I stopped at Echo Chalet for my ice cream and banana and root beer. So, yeah, I'm not done bad, really. Not done bad at all. Hopefully get a decent night's sleep, and probably try and get up at what I'm going to try and call my normal time. Set my alarm for 4:45. Hopefully get away from camp by around 6ish, something like that. If I can try and get into a habit of doing that,
that'll probably be a good thing to do. Anyway, I know I said it would be a short video today, and it's probably turned out that it isn't, so apologies about that. But I'm gonna go and get some water. Good night.